The first 4 games, the defense wasn't quite, up to expectation, but big jump from the Friday game against Loyola to the Saturday game against Valparaiso. What kind of changed there? Was it a fundamental thing? Was it a mental thing? And
a little bit of a mental thing. There's nothing we could have done fundamentally or even practice-wise from game 1 to game 2 because we, finished the game at whatever 7:30 and played again 7:30 the next night. So I just told him, at some point, we've talked about it. We talked about it every game that we got to get better defensively, but we're not showing much progress. And I said, at some point, we got to make up our minds that we're going to do it. Now, I might have said if somebody gets a direct drive, they're going to come out of the game, and so that might have woken up a little bit. Who knows? Because I was telling myself, I was like, do you think really me saying every time somebody allows a direct drive, that person's coming out of the game, change our defense that much? If that's the case, then I need to have something every game or every day to add to it to where you're coming out to make them perform. But, I think it was just, they were a little embarrassed by their effort probably. Know they were better. We showed them the stuff on tape. And a lot of times when you see stuff on tape and it's pretty glaring that you're better than that, you come out the next time to prove that you're better than that. And I think it's a little bit of everything, and we haven't fixed all of our defensive issues. It's going to be a process. We're going from guys that have been a full court pressing team and different kind of concepts to half court man-to-man defense, and I'm still teaching a lot of stuff, and they're still learning. And with Jaquel coming back, we got different people in the mix, and so it's still a work in progress. But we're gonna keep doing what we do every day at practice until it becomes routine, natural, to where they're not thinking about, oh yeah, I forgot we do that now and we used to do it this way. It's just going to be, this is how we do it.
You got ECU on Thursday. You've already seen them once, not in an official game, but in a scrimmage environment. How much does that help that you've seen these guys before?
I think the thing that helps them most is just their athleticism. Like you know what their athleticism is like. You know what their length is like. Nobody showed their whole hand and ran all their sets against each other because it was running clock and it was 13 minutes, so you can't really, take that subset as what the game's going to look like. But they did match up with them. They know how big they are, or small, vice versa. Those things. You watch tape and you're like, oh, he looks long, but you don't really know until you play against him. Or he looks pretty physical, but when you remember getting pushed around for those 5 minutes or whatever it was, that stays in your mind. And I think that's the biggest thing, because you don't ever really scrimmage against opponents, other than you play league opponents twice. So the first time you play a league opponent you see him for the first time, you remember that the second time. So that would be very, very similar to what I think the positives and or the negatives. They know how big and strong Devontae is, but they've also played against him the last couple of years. So.